Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
The main camera packs a massive 200 MP sensor, and once you crop it, it easily handles 2x zoom at 50 MP quality. Push it further and a 3x crop delivers coverage up to 6x, matching what you'd expect from the Find X9 Ultra. Alright, let's dive into the unboxing of the Hasselblad Earth Explorer Master Kit and see what's inside.
A quick shout to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
The Oppo Hasselblad Master Kit comes with a one-time seal, and as you open it, the layers reveal themselves one by one. The packaging is seriously thick and premium. Once you remove the inner lining, the first thing you see is that classic image with a numbered limited edition marking below it. Inside, you'll find the main unit, the lens, and all the accessories. Now let's focus on the star of the show. The box itself has a double-sided seal, and the packaging has been upgraded with handles on both sides. It feels like a tribute to every explorer out there with the slogan, "Take it now," printed boldly. Moving on to the phone, you get a charger with 100-watt Super VOOC output, a USB-A port, an 11-volt 9.1A high current solution, and a 12A data cable. Now the phone itself, this is clearly a flagship. The R9 style design isn't as prominent this time. Compared to other popular phones, it feels more rugged overall. It features a flat display and the frame has this titanium or bronze-like texture. The bezels are slightly curved with antenna bands placed on both sides. The symmetrical design makes it look great from every angle. At the bottom, you'll find the SIM card slot. Just make sure you insert it correctly, and the microphone. Let's turn it around and check out the back from different angles. Honestly, the texture here is something photos just can't fully capture. The lens aperture alone gives off serious flagship vibes, and it instantly reminds you of a Hasselblad camera. Looking at the frame, the buttons stand out, especially the shutter button with its orange finish. The back panel uses a split leather design, which plays a role in the final assembled look. The Oppo and Hasselblad logos sit together perfectly, complementing each other. Now let's talk about the lens system. You're getting dual 200 MP lenses. Even when you hold the phone by itself, it already feels like you're holding a camera. In terms of design, this year's Oppo flagship easily deserves a perfect score. As for weight, it comes in at 237.9 grams, which is expected for a device like this. The leather finish feels incredibly comfortable in hand. Once you lay out everything from the box, the scale of the accessories feels almost over the top. The lens alone is nearly the size of a compact digital camera body, and all the accessories are custom designed. The build quality is impressive, and the lens stretches close to 16 centimeters. Just take a look at that aperture. Then there's the original protective case. With it on, the overall look becomes much more subtle. But if you want something more aggressive, there's another option, the protective case from the Hasselblad Master Lens Kit. Once installed, it adds a proper grip, and now the split design on the back starts to make perfect sense. From the side, it feels great in hand. The shutter button, power button, and dial are all positioned exactly where you'd want them. But that's still not the full setup. Attach the lens, and now things get serious. The lens module is even longer than the phone itself, and once it clicks into place, from any angle, it feels just like holding a Hasselblad camera. Still think this isn't a camera? Let's talk about imaging. Oppo's X series has always focused on stacking top-tier hardware. Every Ultra model combines a large main sensor with dual periscope telephoto lenses for smooth focal transitions. This time, Oppo Find X9 Ultra takes it even further. On the hardware side, you get a 200 MP 1/1.12-inch light 901 sensor, paired with another 200 MP 1/1.28-inch sensor. There's also a 1/1.95-inch light 600 ultra-wide lens, along with a 10x periscope telephoto using a 1/2.75-inch JN1 sensor. Some people might worry about the size of the telephoto sensor, but when compared with other 10x optical zoom setups on the market, Oppo is currently leading the pack. We'll get into deeper comparisons later. Purely based on hardware, this is easily one of the most powerful ultra-flagship smartphones available right now. Now let's check out some sample shots. Give it a score out of 100 based on your first impression. As soon as you open the camera app on the Oppo Find X9 Ultra, the new interface immediately stands out. The top bar has been simplified with options like flash, live view, EV adjustments, and a few more controls. Mode switching is now placed below the shutter button, and you can swipe up from the bottom to access more options, something that feels familiar, almost like a certain global giant. Let's move on to the samples. The first image uses the standard filter in master mode. You can see all the adjustable parameters here, and by tweaking them, you can recreate similar shots. This time, master mode introduces new filters like light, rich, contrast, and black and white. One of the most useful upgrades is the ability to share custom presets. You can import them directly from your gallery or with a quick tap. With ready-made master recipes and parameters, even casual users can capture photos with professional-level color tones. Now let's compare some shots. Starting with the main camera, this is a 200 MP sensor, so we compared it with the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, which also features a 200 MP camera. Oppo shows better color separation in the ginkgo leaves, while Samsung's tones appear slightly darker around the trunk. Both deliver sharp center resolution, but there's a difference in output size. Oppo comes in at 69.1 MP, while Samsung is 49.34 MP. Next, looking at color reproduction from the second-generation single lens, we compared it with Apple. Oppo's image appears brighter with stronger layering, making it more visually appealing. The color tone leans closer to Oppo's signature Klein blue.
Now moving on to another indoor test scene, this one is dominated by red tones, which makes accurate color reproduction a real challenge. Apple leans toward a cooler overall look. When you zoom in, you'll notice that Oppo, Samsung, and Xiaomi all manage to reproduce certain wall colors fairly well, but Apple's shot is affected by the lighting, giving the wall a bluish-purple tint. In terms of detail, Oppo clearly stands out. Even small elements like the texture around the cola on the wall are well preserved, while Apple loses some of that detail. Samsung's image shows a noticeable color cast along with more visible noise. Oppo likely benefits from its f1.5 aperture here, allowing the Oppo Find X9 Ultra to capture around 10% more light in close-range scenes compared to a 1-inch sensor. Looking at the 3x zoom on the central wall, Apple again shows a color shift toward bluish-green. When it comes to detail, Apple's 4x telephoto lens, roughly equivalent to 100mm, still holds a slight edge. However, Oppo and Xiaomi, thanks to their larger sensors and higher pixel count, keep up quite well. Samsung, on the other hand, runs into an old limitation. The smaller sensor paired with a 3x zoom lens results in weaker optical resolution, and it really needs a 5x upgrade to stay competitive. Next up is the 200-megapixel sensor comparison. Here, we're putting Oppo up against the latest 200-megapixel sensors from Xiaomi and Vivo. In terms of color, Oppo and Vivo deliver more natural and accurate tones, while Xiaomi shows a slight color shift. But when it comes to center sharpness, Xiaomi clearly takes the lead. In the same scene, its resolution stands out, while Oppo and Vivo focus more on delivering colors that match what you see with your eyes. For super telephoto, Oppo introduces a Hasselblad-branded 10x optical zoom lens. The decision to go with 10x is closely tied to that earlier 3x mid-range zoom. Even after cropping, the 3x large sensor can effectively stretch to 6x, which gives Oppo the confidence to push further. When compared to the previous 6x optical zoom on the Find X8 Ultra, the difference isn't massive, which is exactly why Oppo felt comfortable stepping up to 10x for higher magnification. Let's compare it to the once famous concert camera, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Oppo delivers a sharp and clean center image with excellent detail retention. In another daylight scene, Samsung still shows some noise in areas like windows and walls, while Oppo keeps things cleaner. And if 10x still isn't enough, Oppo has another trick, the Hasselblad Ultra Professional Teleconverter, offering an equivalent focal length of 300 m. In real-world use, it's quite impressive.
When comparing shots at the same focal length with and without the teleconverter, the resolution difference might not jump out immediately, but enthusiasts will notice it right away. With the teleconverter attached, there's less algorithm-driven smoothing, better brightness, and an overall look that feels closer to what your eyes actually see. Switching to the ultra-wide camera, the image appears brighter and carries a nice texture. The center sharpness is noticeably improved, and Oppo does a good job controlling edge quality. Overall, both hardware and software on the Oppo Find X9 Ultra show serious capability. But there's more. This time, Oppo brings 4 high-quality lenses, including dual 200-megapixel sensors. One of the biggest highlights is the ability to achieve multiple 50-megapixel focal lengths. By cropping the 200-megapixel main sensor, you can cover 2x at 50 megapixels and 3x at around 20 megapixels, and even extend up to 6x. That means you're getting high-resolution output across 6 focal lengths, ranging from 14 millimeters all the way to 230 millimeters, ensuring strong image quality at every key zoom level. Now let's move into portrait comparisons. Starting with wide-angle portraits, Apple's default mode produces very little background blur. The real focus here is on skin tones. Oppo leans slightly toward a rosy look, while Apple and Samsung deliver more neutral, somewhat flat results. Xiaomi and Vivo sit somewhere in between, offering more balanced tones. Take a closer look at hair detail. Oppo and Vivo are able to render individual strands clearly, while other brands show minor processing errors, especially around the top of the head. Oppo and Vivo also do a better job capturing lipstick color accurately. Next, telephoto portraits, which really test computational photography. Apple and Samsung show noticeable skin tone shifts, while Xiaomi and Vivo apply stronger skin smoothing effects compared to Oppo. Overall, Oppo's portrait processing may not be as aggressive as Xiaomi or Vivo, but it keeps a distinct sense of natural vitality in key areas. And generally speaking, domestic brands still outperform international competitors when it comes to portrait algorithms. On the video side, Oppo introduces Log 2 along with a new Master Tone HDR video mode. You can compare samples from both and decide which one looks better to you. To sum it up, this phone truly lives up to its reputation as a camera powerhouse. The combination of dual 200-megapixel sensors and a powerful super telephoto system delivers real, noticeable results. And of course, we'll be diving into more detailed comparisons after its official release. Looking at the specs, you're getting a 2K 144Hz display paired with the latest Snapdragon 8 Ultra chip. Benchmark scores hit 3790 for single-core and 11,896 for multi-core, with a 3D Mark cross-platform score of 3133. While performance isn't the main focus, it's still firmly in flagship territory. The latest Antutu V11 score reaches 4.3 million, which is excellent for this class. In real-world gaming, starting with Honor of Kings at max frame rate and ultra-high resolution, the phone maintains an average of 144 FPS over 30 minutes. Temperatures reach 44.6 degrees Celsius on the front and 44.8 degrees Celsius on the back, with power consumption at 4.87 watts. Under heavier load, running Genshin Impact at max settings and 60 FPS for 30 minutes results in an average of 60.1 FPS. Temperatures stay at 43.7 degrees Celsius on the front and 43.2 degrees Celsius on the back, with power consumption at 4.01 watts. In the final 30-minute run, the average frame rate drops slightly to 59.4 FPS. Temperatures rise to 57.9 degrees Celsius on the front and 47.6 degrees Celsius on the back, and power consumption increases to 6.9 watts. Around the 30-minute mark, the device heats up further and stabilizes at 50 FPS. As for battery and charging, because of the space taken up by the camera module, the phone packs a 7,050 mAh battery. It supports 100-watt wired charging and 50-watt wireless charging. Charging from 0 to 100% takes about 55 minutes, with trickle charging completing at 57 minutes. After 5 standard battery tests, 71% battery remained. Then, during a continuous 4K 60 FPS online video playback test with subtitles enabled, the device lasted a total of 14 hours and 59 minutes from full charge to shutdown. That's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye.